How's it going, YouTube? Sick Eric back again with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the Samsung Galaxy Note series. Apparently it is going away. Now that is a shame for Samsung. I think they should rethink their plans, but they are going to be getting rid of the Note series, whether or not it's this year or next year. Apparently it is going away. I think Samsung should think about this. I think it goes all the way back down to price and features of the Note series. I believe the last great Note was the Samsung Galaxy Note 9. That phone literally had everything. It had a headphone jack, it had a QHD display, really good cameras, glass back, really good build. It had everything that you could possibly need on a smartphone. It was definitely better than the Samsung Galaxy S9 by far. And yes, that was the last Note series phones that I had. And after that, they sort of just got too expensive, and I could not pretty much afford to get any of the other Galaxy Note 10 and the Note 10 Plus. Also because of the features that they left out of the Note 10 and the Note 10 Plus, and also because of the price. Samsung definitely went up on the price, and for what they pretty much got rid of some features on the Note 10. They made it a 1080p display. They got rid of the headphone jack, and they lowered the battery down size to 3500 milliamp hour battery. The Note 9, I believe, had a 4000 milliamp hour battery, had a headphone jack, and had a higher resolution display. Also on a regular Note 10, it did not have a micro SD card slot. The Note 9 did. And yeah, it was just they got rid of a lot of stuff on the Note 10, and they also charge you a little bit more money for the Note 10 as well. The cameras were still good, you know, but not as good as the Note 10 Plus. And going on over to the Note 10 Plus, that had a 4300 milliamp hour battery and a 6.8 inch display. It was a QHD display, glass back, everything was on there as well. It did have a micro SD card slot, but it did not have a headphone jack. And I think all the buttons were off onto the left hand side as well, which was a little bit off. But then that phone was $1,000 plus when it came out. So I skipped out on that because it was a little bit too expensive, and you guys know me, I always like to get phones that you really do not require a down payment, because I do not have my phones for that long, and I don't want to have to pay $500 or $300 to have a phone for a couple months and then, you know, trade it in for another one. But I think Samsung definitely should not have to do a regular Note and then a Note 10 Plus or a Note 10 Ultra. All of that just seems really dumb, especially for their S series. The Samsung Galaxy S20 Fan Edition should have been the entry-level Samsung Galaxy S20, and then give us a S20 Plus with all the extra bells and whistles. That's what they should do. On a Note series, there is no need for an Ultra or a regular Note, because the Note name is the Ultra and the Plus variant to the S series, just because it offers a lot more, the S Pen and everything else. It's supposed to be a higher spec phone than the S series, but now they're doing the Pluses and the Ultras for both of them. It's really getting confusing and really getting annoying. The Note 20 should not need a Plus or an Ultra, because that is the Ultra to the S series. And even on the Note 20 regular edition, that came with a 1080p display, no headphone jack as well. I believe there was no micro SD card expansion on that. The back was plastic. They should not have came out with that series of phones. They should have just came out with a regular Note 20 Plus or just a Note 20 with all the specs. Samsung just keeps spending money on making all of these different variations of a phone and charging us an arm and a leg for it. And I just think that that's really stupid. They should just put all their efforts into one phone and make it a decently priced phone. That way, you know, most people can get it. You know, $1,000, not no $1,400 for a, you know, ultra of a phone. Just give us all the specs on a regular version and do it that way. Even if they wanted to, they could do a Note 20 Fan Edition. That could have been the regular Note 20, and then the Ultra could have just been the, you know, Plus or something like that. But yeah, they could have made a Fan Edition of the Note 20 and then given us a regular Note 20 with all the bells and whistles. And I think the Samsung is realizing that they screwed up, and they're probably gonna get rid of the Note series, and all because it was too expensive. They went all over the place with the specs, and it was just a huge mess for Samsung. They just kept things simple. You know, with the S series, come out with an S10 and then an S10 Plus with, you know, S20, S20 Plus, add all the bells and whistles. But they want to make more money and give us a regular version, a Plus version, and an Ultra version. And all of this money they keep spending on there on all these different variants of phones, they could just be putting all their thoughts into one or two devices and making them really great phones. And yeah, that's just my ideas on why they're getting rid of the Note 20, and they shouldn't. A lot of people love the Note series of phones. They love the S Pens and everything about those phones. The last phone I had, like I said, was a Note 9. And after that, they just got too expensive to where I didn't get to get any. And that is a shame because a lot of people wanted them. And the Note 10 was a smaller phone. It had a smaller display, 1080p display. Was not interested. Then the Note 10 Plus had everything on there except for a headphone jack, but then it was too expensive. Same thing goes for the Note 20. You know, they keep making all of these, you know, regular variants, and they're not putting all their effort into that like they want you to buy the Ultra version instead. Then why are you spending all this money and making another version that you know people aren't going to buy and you don't want people to buy? You know, with the Note 20, they made the S Pen touch sensitivity or whatever it was a lot slower than the regular Note 20. They didn't add all the features on there and just things like that. They, you know, the cameras were different. The display was a 1080p display. They do this so they could sort of wing you into just buying the Ultra version, but then the Ultra version is like $1,400, which is ridiculous. So yeah, the Note series is probably going away. I just think Samsung should have rethunk their whole process. You know, stick with a regular phone like, say, the Galaxy S series. Give us a regular S series, you know, for example, an S20, and then give us a Plus, and that's it. If you want to do a Fan Edition, go ahead and do a Fan Edition after the fact. And especially with the Note series, all you really needed was just one Note phone, like for example, the Note 20. That could have just been, you know, all the bells and whistles. You don't have to be calling, you know, a Note 20 and a Note 20 Ultra. There was also a Note 10 Lite, I believe, as well, which was pretty much a Galaxy A71 with an S Pen, and that just was dumb too, plastic back and, you know, whatnot. But the Note series should be the Ultra, you know, phone to the S series. They just have just kept it like that, but they want to make more money and spend, you know, have people buy the more expensive phones and make more money that way. But it did go ahead and bite them in the ass for that. Now I guess they want to focus on the foldables, the Z Flip, Z Fold, or Z Fold 2, or whatever the hell those phones are. Again, very expensive phones that not your average person is going to be getting because they are so expensive. but yet they want to focus more on those. And I guess the S20s, they want to make them support an S Pen, but where the hell are you going to put the S Pen? You know, I'm not going to be carrying an S Pen up my ass just so I could use on my S10 that has no slot for it. So that is dumb too. They also want to make the Z Fold, you know, support S Pens as well. But like I said, if you can't put the S Pen in the phone, where are you going to put it? Are they going to make a case? That way you could slide it into the case, but then it's just an accessory. With the Note, it is part of the Note to have that S Pen slide up into the phone and be there when you need it. You know, granted, I didn't really use it that much, but still, come on, Samsung. Just give us another Note, make it a reasonable price. We don't need 3 variants of a Note device. We just pretty much need one with all the bells and whistles, and that could be the Plus version, the Ultra version to the S series. Same thing with an S series, just give us one entry-level variant and then give us a Plus. All this Ultra crap is just for the birds and is getting really, really out of hand. Samsung really needs to think about all of this that they are doing. But with that being said, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. I just needed to go on this little rant of why they are getting rid of the Note series. Like I said, I haven't really had a Note series because they have gotten really, really expensive, and I sort of lost interest out of, you know, after the Note 9. That was the last greatest Note phone that Samsung has ever released, and I believe the Galaxy S10 was the last greatest S series phone that Samsung ever released. That's just my opinion. Those were the last 2 phones that I really had. The S20 FE, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful, awesome device. I'm using that phone right now. It is a really great device. This FE should have been the entry-level Galaxy S20, you know, at a reasonable price, and then they should have given us an S20 Plus. But hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up if you did, thumbs down if you didn't. That is quite all right. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. You guys stay safe out there, and peace.